Show me your friends and I will tell you who you are. Ladies and gentlemen, when the likes of Honorable Sudi and Honorable Farah Malim, together with a host of many other politicians around William Samoei Ruto, arrogantly spit on our face and told us that William Ruto will be re-elected come 2027 by hook or crook. In fact, they even added that if they want, they could even extend Ruto's tenure for 24 years. Kenyans were amazed. But to a larger extent, we now know why William Ruto is behaving the way he's behaving. Now, behind the arrogance that they display to Kenyans, you'll be shocked to realize that the Ruto camp is actually scared of 2027 because they have messed up this nation so much that they fear that the Kenyan voter today may not listen to them in 2027. You know, in 2022, they took advantage, but the voter of today will not listen to them. Now today, Gladys Shollei extended that narrative of either living in denial or burying their heads in the sand to believe that maybe by some magic they can do things the same way they have been doing. And Richard Onyonka, in his usual style, confronted Shollei. Shollei almost jumped out of her skin. She wished the ground would open and swallow her because Onyonka did not give her a space. And as Edwin Sifuna will explain to you, things are getting thicker and push has come to shove.
And like I said, I will know the update when these 6 people who have been found now report so that they say where they were. Point made. But then you cannot tell me there's abductions and marked vehicles. You see, those are your... They were, that is your... No, I'm just saying that's your knowledge. Yeah. I want to see the statements. Public knowledge as well. No, that is what is being said in the public. But what I want to know is from these 6 people, where they were, they'll tell us whether it was unmarked vehicles, who picked them up, and so on. Then I can comment on it. But you can't tell me to speculate on something. Surely, I think it's unfair.
Okay, so fair enough.
And if you know that that is happening, we also expect you to go and report to the police station.
Okay, we report to the public, not to the police stations.
Thank you.
So I'll come to politician Honorable Gladys Boss in a short time.
Ayub, I'm utterly shocked and mesmerized at what Her Excellency is saying. She sounds like she came from Europe today. All right? This narrative that in our country we are trying to normalize the abnormalities, the fact that a cabinet minister in her government, my government, who has come out publicly and talked about how his son was abducted. And indeed, I want to tell you, Madam Shollei, Deputy Speaker, actually Justin truly talked to me about the abductions himself. And there's more detail I have that I can't disclose here. There is more I know that I can't say here.
See, which I don't.
The people who he talked to and what they told him, the conversation is mind-blowing. All right? After this incident of Justin Muturi, I was so incredibly happy that my party leader, Raila Odinga, pronounced himself and said, stop this nonsense of abducting Kenyans. And Madam Shollei, then what does she do? She was there when our president, William Ruto, said, I will stop the... So this narrative that she's trying to create, that, you know, these are people we don't know. They are wearing balaclavas, and in fact, they are having these cards. And in fact,
didn't say that.
Just let me finish what I'm saying.
But I didn't say that.
And in fact, where we are, there are 6 guys who've been found. Madam Shollei, we are a country that believes in the rule of law.
That's why we are in court.
Just hold on, Mama. Please hold on, Your Excellency. We are not here to discuss the methods used and whether they were legitimate or not. What we are saying is what is happening is against the law of the land. It's unconstitutional to pick anybody and keep them beyond a certain limit of time, because the constitution that we have been swearing to expects me as a leader. So when you are telling me that as a deputy speaker, that you cannot pronounce on this matter, because when you are a deputy speaker, you are somebody who's different. And in fact, these people, the parents should go and give these reports on missing persons. Deputy Speaker, Madam Shollei, these people are not missing. They are being abducted. They are being taken from their homes. There are CCTV cameras. The cars that are picking them are known. They are government cars. Everybody knows that kids have been killed. People are being killed and thrown into mortuaries and picked from there. How you make me feel that actually we are in a country where there's a group of people who completely would rather have everybody in this country killed because they criticize the government, because of their interest, because this country is larger than any of us. This country has reached a stage, if this nonsense doesn't stop, Ayub, they'll come for you here next. After that, they'll come for me. After they finish with me, they'll go to Mui. Finally, they'll come to you. Because what they want you to do, you will not agree. So what we are saying, let us just save this country. Forget about the shenanigans. You are in government. We are not. I have said severally, Ayub, I don't hate President Ruto. I want him to succeed. I respect him. He's my president. The guy is so bright. Why is it difficult to run this country?
You know, Ayub, what's happening? He's playing to the gallery.
When we are talking about the people who are on this page, the people you work with are the ones who show who your friends are, and they're the ones who tell Kenyans what your government is.
That ugly confrontation has gone viral and people have really commented on it. But someone is asking what exactly is happening with the Ruto camp. Because in the past few weeks, they seem to be running away from their shadows. You wonder what scares them. And Edwin Sifuna explains this, that these people are scared of their own shadows. They know that they have spent almost 3 years doing actually nothing. And now with the remaining years, they do not understand how they can put the stitches together. And that is why they are scared. And all we see are the kicks of a dying horse.
Some of the leaders that you've mentioned. And of course, I saw what the Honorable Kamket said, and also the Honorable Oscar Sudi. The truth is that we know now that they understand that this thing, it is irreversible now. The damage that this government has done to its own reputation is irreversible. They know that there is very little that can be done between now and 2027 to reverse the fortunes of this regime. So you can see that they have become irritated, agitated. The young Kenyans on social media have succeeded in getting under their skin. If you go to a function and speaker after speaker is only talking about social media and curtailing the freedoms of the young people, lecturing us about respecting other people. And yet these are some of the vilest politicians on the mic. They themselves cannot show you the respect that they want other people to show them. So for me, it is the clearest indication, and I want Kenyans to take confidence in the strength of our constitution to defend itself. Nobody can stand somewhere and tell us they will manufacture another president for 24 years. It will not happen. This is not 1980. This is not the generation that they used to sell fear to. The Kenyan of today is a Kenyan who understands the constitution, their rights. They know for a fact that you cannot impose yourself on Kenyans. I am telling you, the only way for any elected leader to win re-election is to do the things you promise to do for Kenyans, is to make the lives of Kenyans better. Now that they understand that it is going to be impossible for them to deliver on any of the promises that would make Kenyans look at them favorably, they are now openly threatening to violate the constitution and the rights of Kenyans and to try and force themselves upon the people.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, when you listen to Oscar Sudi, Farah Malim, all those leaders, and you combine with what Gladys Shollei is telling us today, you will agree with Onyonka that maybe Gladys Shollei just landed from Europe. She does not know what is happening in the country. And let me ask you a very honest question. Don't be led by your political or tribal affiliation. Between Onyonka and Gladys Shollei, whom do you believe? Because when you juxtapose the two of them, one is hell-bent on protecting the president, and that is Gladys Shollei. You know, Gladys belongs to this group that believes the president is a Kale. He comes from our region. Or, I hate Gachagua so much that we must protect Ruto. To them, they feel so much entitled that Ruto is their president. They are forgetting that even those who did not vote for William Ruto are paying taxes, and that office is maintained by taxpayers' money. Onyonka, on the other hand, is speaking on behalf of the weak, the downtrodden, the very people who are being abducted, the parents who sometimes spend sleepless nights wondering, is our child alive or is he dead? Now, Shollei is telling us that we need to wait for statements from the guys who are abducted. In other words, she is trying to convince us that when an abductor comes to you, they will pick you and they will tell you that we are taking you to Pangani police station, so that is where you are. And so that when you come out and you're asked where were you will easily say, I was in Pangani station. Those who are coming to abduct others are coming to intimidate. The people who are abducted sometimes don't even know where they are. And so this narrative of, we don't know what is happening until we wait for the courts, we wait for, is neither here nor there. But I want us to look at what exactly is ailing President William Ruto as far as abductions, as far as the arrogant nature that they are displaying is concerned. And you will realize that William Ruto and his group are still being haunted by the KANU regime kind of governance. William Ruto spent most of his time with President Daniel Torotich Arap Moi. And someone was saying that the difference between President Ruto and President Moi is that President Ruto is more learned than the former President Moi. And William Ruto still wants to govern people, lead with an iron fist as if we are in the old dispensation. And today, you realize that it will be very, very difficult because we have a new constitution that gives Kenyans many rights and freedoms. As Sifuna puts it, in the past it was just okay for Moi to detain Kenyans without trial. There was detention without trial. And it was allowed in that constitution. And if you listen to Ruto's and his camp and Gladys Shollei, they are in this dispensation, but they're still thinking like they're using the old constitution. That is one problem that is ailing the UDA government. The sooner they accept that we are not being governed under the old constitution, the better for them. Number two, William Ruto looks at some of his friends like Yoweri Kaguta Museveni and our neighboring countries and the kind of dictatorship that is going on, and he thinks he can exercise that in this country. It is not possible. It will backfire. When you see what is happening in our neighboring countries, how some of the opposition leaders are caught abducted and some pepper is spread in their faces. Those things used to happen in Kenya in the 80s, but we have come a long way. So William Ruto must accept that we are in a new dispensation and that this is Kenya and not any other country. The sooner they accept that, the better for them. Number two, we are dealing with a different generation. This is not the generation of the past. We are in a digital era. The Gen Zs and most people consume most of their time in social media, on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and the information can easily be relayed compared to the past. You know, in the past, you could apprehend someone and it would take days. Maybe they were depending on the family to make phone calls. But today, you pick up someone even at the time you are abducting them, someone is busy taking video from, maybe if it is in an area where there are flats, maybe on the fourth floor, he's hidden somewhere and is taking the video how this person is being abducted, the number plate and everything. And so we are dealing with a different generation. The sooner they accept this, the better for them. And the person of today understands our constitution. We have the people who have read the constitution and they know their rights. That is why you see a very agile and active generation who confronts the DCI. They come and they will be asking, why are you here? And why do you want to apprehend? Why do you want to abduct? Why don't you use the constitutional method? The person of today understands the constitution, living in the digital era, working under a new constitution. It is not very easy to do things the way things were done in the past. And I believe this is what is ailing this government. They still want to live in denial. Even when things are outrightly displayed, when things are wrong, they still want to cover it. Gladys and a clique of many other leaders are misleading the president. That is why in Bungoma, you saw a whole brigade, people like Francis Atwoli, telling us that, some people are kidnapping themselves. It took the intervention of one brave man, George Natembeya, who told the president, please, let us face our problems. Let us confront them. Our children are being kidnapped. Let us face the reality and let us understand that we are in a new era. Because if we still want to misguide the president, ladies and gentlemen, I can assure you that all of us want President Ruto to succeed. Because when he does, Kenya succeeds. But when he fails, all of us will fail. This kind of shenanigans must stop. And we need brave and courageous leaders like Onyonka and Natembeya to tell the president things are wrong. For Gladys Shollei, let them feel that like they're protecting their president. They're so entitled. But power is transient. And soon they will realize that it's all but vanity.